Chapter 3. From the moment I joined Adam the next day, I felt uneasy and deceitful. It was as if Papa were standing just behind me, watching. Of course that was ridiculous. He was at work, thinking of other things. Yet I couldn't shake the sense that I was doing wrong. Papa had intended I not see Adam at all, and that meant any place, not at school or after. And here we were talking, pretending Papa wouldn't mind. "I'm beginning to feel as if I'm Romeo and you're Juliet," Adam joked as we stood apart from the other students for the few minutes before the bell rang. "My mother's not too crazy about us either." "How do you know? Did she say something?" Adam squeezed my shoulders reassuringly. "Now, don't start worrying. You have to know my mother. She's just funny about some things. Won't come right out and say what she thinks, but comes at it through the back door. Have you seen that Conley girl lately, dear? Such a lovely young woman." "That's Mom." Adam made a face. "Eileen Conley's a spoiled brat, about as nice as a spider. When I told Mom that, you can guess she wasn't too pleased." "I suppose we'll survive," I said. "Papa said 1 week, so maybe it won't be too awful. Except what? What if we choose different colors in Mr. Otero's class?" I looked aside as the first period bell rang. "Will it mean we're not supposed to talk to each other?" "Don't even think such a terrible thing." Adam took my arm and we began pushing through the crowd into the building. "Listen, Amy. Nobody can keep us apart. Not your father, my mother, Otero, or his entire so-called police force. Nobody." He stepped aside to let me pass. "It's entirely up to us and how we feel about each other, right?" "Right," I echoed, wanting to believe him. But my stomach churned with uncertainty. It had seemed a fun idea, taking Otero's social studies elective together because of his color game. I'd heard about the game from others who'd taken the class before, heard enough to think it might be more than just interesting. It might be important to Adam and me in some way. Might prove if our relationship really had a future. I hadn't considered when I teased Adam into signing up with me that the game might also separate us for the next umpteen weeks. Would our feelings for each other survive? Trying to ignore those fears, I climbed the stairs to the second-floor class with Adam 3 periods later. As we hurried down the hall, I saw the cluster of kids waiting outside the social studies room because Otero was late. There were the usual groupings, black kids off to one side, a small circle of Latino kids, and nearest the room, the white kids, with Justin in their midst, getting laughs. Several students were hanging around who weren't in the class. The G4 police force, I wondered? Otero catapulted from a room across the hall, shaking out a clump of keys. He unlocked the classroom door and everyone started pouring in. I took my usual seat with Adam beside me, near the front of the room. "Do you suppose where you sit means anything?" I asked, settling my books under the chair. "Just look. You and I always sit where we can look Otero straight in the eye. Justin always sits right near the door so he can bolt as soon as the bell rings." "Yeah," Adam said. "And Paul Thomas always sits where Otero can't see him, kind of slouched down." "So what's it mean? For that matter, does the fact that Otero scurries around like a squirrel whenever we see him mean anything?" I liked Mr. Otero. Most kids did. It was because he seemed so really excited about what he taught. And from what I heard, he cared about the students. Because you'd often find him staying late to talk. He was kind of funny, too. I liked how he joked about his baldness, saying what didn't grow on top grew twice as thick at his chin. And he sure had a knack of keeping my interest in class. 50 minutes went by like 10. "Today," he said, coming around to the front of his desk, "we're going to begin a great social experiment. For the next 4 weeks, we'll be playing what I call the color game. In just 4 weeks, we're going to change the world." Otero began writing on the board as he spoke, turning from time to time back to the class. "Imagine you're on a new planet, where colors represent special status, he said. Blue is the highest color. Blues are superior beings. Think of purity, of blue bloods, those with money, respect, and prestige. Blue children attend private schools and go to the best colleges. Their parents travel without worrying about cost. They live the good life in beautiful homes with maids and gardeners. And they intend to keep it that way. Otero stood aside so the class could read what he'd written on the board. I copied it into my notebook. Blue equals upper class. Now, below the blues are the dark greens, like the upper middle class on Earth. Dark green people are often workaholics. They figure if they try a little harder, they'll make it to the blues. Dark green children almost always finish college. They're expected by their parents to go into the family business or become important in their professions. They're aware of the colors below them, the light greens and oranges, but they're too busy trying to keep what they have and do even better to consider lending these less fortunate colors a hand. What is my family? I wondered uneasily. Dark green? No, not quite. Aspiring to be. Adam, of course, was a blue. Now, below the dark greens, you'll find the light greens. They are the most numerous in society, the blue-collar workers, the lower middle class. Light greens don't have it easy. If they have a job and a decent place to live where crime isn't too terrible, they're grateful. Their kids may go to junior college, few graduate. Light greens aspire to become dark greens, but many are happy just to keep their heads above water. Otero chuckled with a kind of delighted satisfaction. Finally, we come to the oranges. Now there's a sad group. They're often out of work, on welfare, in trouble with the law, and no matter how hard they work, if indeed they can get jobs, they can barely make ends meet. Since welfare breeds welfare, you find second and third generation oranges with big families, and often no father figure around. Oranges would like a bigger piece, in fact any piece, of the planet's apple pie, but the way society operates, they may never